Hey guys, Michelle here. So, part of the symptoms of post heart surgery medications are insomnia. So, here I am at 1 a.m. And for those of you who know me, I've always been a nocturnal night owl type person, anyways. But this is kind of like a new limit. And so, I figured I'd tell you guys a little bit more about, for those of you who just have curiosity about what it's like after heart surgery, or those of you who are just kind of interested in kind of what it would be like or what it feels like. Because I really had no idea myself going into this. So I would just read and Google and yes, go to sleep. Easy to say, not so easy to do. But so there's a few things that happen. First, before this, I never took any vitamins whatsoever, except for like gummy vitamins, like kids' Flintstone vitamins. If I had the kids' vitamins laying around, I'd be like, sure, I should probably take these. So I never took any drugs, any meds, nothing. Now I take like a whole series of different things, right? So beta blockers for high blood pressure, but I actually have low blood pressure. So that keeps my heart rate down because my heart rate was really fast after the surgery. But typically, they're for people with high blood pressure. So it's sort of this interesting thing. I don't know if I'm going to have to keep taking them. And what's weird about that is that you have to, like when you read the side effects, if you guys have ever done this and like read like WebMD or anything like that, you see like all of these crazy things that are like side effects, right? So like it's like may cause depression, may cause insomnia, lucid dreams, like weight gain. You're like, really? Like I need these 500 side effects. I don't really want any of those things. But then the alternative is like may cause heart attack. You're like, oh my God, okay, so take it. Options aren't that good. So I take those. I take a lot of different things. I do take something for sleeping, but I only have 6 of those left. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do because it's going to be really hard to sleep after that. It's really painful when you like lay down and you try to get back up. Like that's the part that's you have all those side effects naturally, Carmenage. So what else do you have to do? Like there's this thing they give you, which is kind of fascinating, and it's an oxygen machine. So I did it before surgery and I did it after, and it has, if you can see, numbers on it. And so you take this and it's sort of like inhaling from straw. So you kind of breathe out, and you can't do it too many times in a row or you get lightheaded. So you just kind of breathe out, and then you have to inhale. And at the same time, you have to keep the indicator between 2 arrows. So I'm actually like pretty bad at this before surgery, and I think I'm worse now. But I try my best. So that's what you have to do a couple of times a day, not too many times in a row, or you get lightheaded, you get sick. So we blow out. I'm trying to get you to see my numbers. Like I averaged 1,500, which I thought was like not bad. And then Jay tried it and he got like up to 3,500, and I was like, I suck. So I keep trying. So that's one thing. What else? I cannot drive, which is so frustrating if you know me at all. Like I get so antsy and I want to like move and do things and be out and about. Like I'm always ready to go. This our wall of travel we just hung. I'm actually super excited. We just did our living room, so I'll show you kind of what it looks like. Kind of like a global room. So we have got that on our honeymoon in Nepal. We did like a World Wonders honeymoons. We did the pyramids in Egypt and the Sahara Desert in Morocco, and we did Taj Mahal in India, and we did Mount Everest in Nepal. We didn't actually like hike it, maybe someday, but I'm not really a cold person. So the only cold place I really want to go to is Antarctica. And then I can officially say I've checked all 7 continents off my bucket list, so that's a big one. But anyways, so yeah, I get antsy. I want to go out and about. I can't drive anywhere, so that's kind of terrible. So I'm depending on everybody else. I'm not allowed to sit in the front seat because if an airbag deploys, if you guys saw the x-ray, it's like metal sewn together. So the scar is actually really small. It's only like about that big, if you can see. Very tiny, which was super exciting. Like kind of when you break a bone, and I've broken bones before, like I broke my wrist actually, and that's a really ugly scar, which is why I left it to have a plastic surgeon do my scar. But when you break something, it takes time for your body to fuse together. So they had to crack me open to like touch up the valve, the mitral valve, and like repair it. So that portion is still pretty sore. I have to wear this like very attractive bra for like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like, and there's 5 of them, so I just keep rotating. And so hopefully that's like keeps everything together so that you can kind of fuse and heal and grow. What else? They want you to walk. There are limitations. It's kind of like when I was having a baby, I'd be like, so how often should I walk? Or like, what does the baby do this time or that time? And they would always just give me the same answer, which drove me absolutely nuts because I'm a planner. And they'd be like, it depends. And you'd be like, like, just give me like facts. I need facts. So yes, I learned to go with the flow. And so for me, that is a very big thing is I definitely know that everybody's different, so every reaction is going to be different, every person's different. So when I like people see me, like doctors or nurses, and they're like, oh, like how are you feeling? Like they have no idea that I even had our surgery because you can't really tell. And even when I went to the airport, I had wheelchair assistance because the airport's really big and you can't walk that far that long. If you can tell, I kind of get out of breath sometimes too. So like that's the challenge, to keep walking. They want you to walk more, not less. And it's really good for me, like self motto, because you never judge a book by its cover. You don't know what people are going through. So although I look young, or I am young, and people wouldn't guess by seeing me that I just had open heart surgery a few weeks ago, you never know what somebody's going through. Or so just be kind to people and understand that everybody has their own needs and differences, and we have to be there for one another, and that's really most important. So other things I have to do are just walk, just kind of like take steps around. Big thing is like stairs, so that's like another one. I could kind of give you a tour of our house, I guess, which is kind of exciting too. Side note, because we're finally like hanging things up, so it's super exciting. So here's our dining room, which hang up our mirror. Denise will help pick that spot. And we still have some pictures on the floor, so don't mind the mess, but love our table. We have a little bar area, but it's a little bit empty right now. You're not allowed to drink while you're on the medication, which is very sad. And what else? So here's our kitchen, and you can see there we have like this adorable little bunny table, and the kids like taking our pictures off and saying like, look, it's mommy and daddy. So they have fun with these. But this table, actually, which is pretty amazing, was Jay's sister's table when she was a little girl. And their grandparents bought it for them, or actually great-grandparents bought it for them. And my amazing mother-in-law brought it in an RV from Canada, and they went like cross-country across the United States and brought that table with us to New York. So we brought it, and the girls loved their little bunny table. What else? So here's our living room, and I just got this rug, so I hope you like it. And see our TV, and we're finally putting some pictures up, and it's starting to feel like home. So we have our breakfast nook table that's coming tomorrow. It's not here yet, and I don't know if you could see outside, but I'll try and show you. Maybe there's lights that I can see here. Let's see. So we have our yard furniture. And you see random children's cars strewn about. and it's really peaceful. So that's one of the best parts about being here at night. And it's nice and warm, but not too hot. So that's exciting. Another thing I just remembered. So, sad fact, you are not allowed to swim or go to pools or beaches post-surgery, which is awful because, ouch, you live in Florida, and it's pretty much the highlight of living here is like how amazing it is. Every weekend's like a vacation. So I love to swim, and the kids love to swim, but I can't go in because there might be bacteria. So definitely no community pools. They told me like maybe put your feet into like the pool, but definitely don't get your scar wet or submersed. So that's off limits. The beach, sand, no bueno. So unfortunately, not so good. Here we have sort of like the series of meds that you have to be on. So it's like a laundry list of things that I never took and now I have to take, which is kind of like, you have to do it, unfortunately, but it's not something I love doing. And what else? Okay, so I am not allowed to carry anything heavier than 8 pounds, which is exactly 1 gallon of milk. So I learned that. Fun fact, that's it. You can have your morning Cheerios. Everything else is not good. So there's really not a lot of pills that you can take, not a lot of things you can carry. Things that are really simple, you would think are like super hard, like opening up a bottle or twisting off a water or sneezing and coughing and laughing. And so you guys have probably seen my heart pillow. It's actually upstairs in bed right now. I usually carry it around with me, but if I feel like a sneeze coming on or something like that, like I try to grab one of the kids' toys real quick and just like hug it because it's gonna hurt like a little bit, or a lot. Like we watched a comedy show the other night and I was sitting there and I was in so much pain because the guy was so funny and I was like, please don't laugh. And I'll just like think about sad things. It's terrible. Maybe that's what causes depression. I'm not sure. But like, you just really don't want it to hurt. So you just kind of grab something and like hang on for dear life. But the weird thing is I really haven't been sneezing. So I wonder if one of the medications like is squelching that. I'm not really sure. So what else? Walking, stairs. I get winded by like the top of like the first stairs, which is like disappointing because for those of you who know me know how active and asymptomatic I've always been. Like I was a Zumba instructor and I've always worked out, and even though I've gained a little bit of weight, like I haven't been like, I've actually been really strong and fit, and that was one of the things I really took pride in, the fact that I was like healthy in that way. And now that stuff is like, which should be easy for me in previous state, like just a couple weeks ago, is like really challenging, right? So going like long distance walking. So basically what you do is you pick a place or your time, and every day you try to go a little bit further or a little bit longer. And little by little, you build the stamina and the endurance, and that helps you kind of persevere. So it's not so bad. But that's kind of what I've been doing. So I like that when you sneeze, you see rainbows. That's pretty exciting. Maybe if I saw rainbows, I'd feel better. But so that's really it. So I guess you guys have questions for me. Like I see you all there. Hey sis, hi guys. So I don't know. I mean, it's like for me, it's like interesting because the things that I never knew, like you would never imagine, like what will it feel like and how will I feel after. And the other part is like obviously the insomnia, which I've always had, but like is even worse now. I think last night was really bad. I couldn't fall asleep at all. And I was watching 13 Reasons Why season 2, and it was like really good. And then I was like, I can't sleep. And then finally I was like, no, you have to go to bed. So I like shut the TV off, forced myself to go to sleep, tossed and turned, and it was really uncomfortable. I couldn't fall asleep. And then finally, finally, I fell asleep. And then all of a sudden, my daughter, Callie, woke up and she's screaming, like, I want my mommy. And they have new furniture now, so they're sleeping in their room. I'll take you through that tour, like, another time when people are actually awake. It's not, like, 1 a.m. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So I, like, brought her in, and then she's like, I need milk. And then, like, I went downstairs to get her milk, and she's like, I want juice. And I was like, oh, God. So, like, literally, by 5:30, like, I finally fell asleep, and I, like, slept till, like, 10:30. So I was like, exciting. So my days and nights are kind of mixed up, which I guess everyone who's watching, maybe you too, because you're kind of night people with me, or some of you guys are in California, so I'll give you that. But basically, yeah, so it's interesting, like you go finally fall asleep, which is challenging, and then you have the weirdest dreams, and that's like a side effect of the medicines. Like you start like having these like really vivid, real, lucid dreams that seem so real, and you're like, what does it mean? Like you wake up and there's like all of this stuff, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know. I have no idea what goes on in my mind, because like I have really weird dreams. So that's pretty much it. I think that the next steps after seeing my cardiologist is that I have to go to get another stress EKG, which basically means they tick these little stickies on you. Anyone who's had a baby, it's kind of similar. They put them like an ultrasound on your stomach, but it's of your heart. But what they do is they're monitoring your stable heart rate, like before exercise. Then they put you on a treadmill, which I'm not really ready for this yet, but future state. They put you on a treadmill. They crank it up like every 3 minutes. It gets a little bit faster and a little higher incline. So you go from walking to walking a little bit faster, et cetera, et cetera. And then they monitor your heart rate during, and then they immediately take you off after you think you hit like 150 beats per minute. I think I hit 160. They took me off. They put me back on the table, and then they monitor to compare where is your heart rate before, during, and after. So it's actually a really fascinating experience, and that's actually why I needed the surgery in the first place, because the before was fine. Like it took me 10 minutes to even get up to 160, and I was like running, and he was like, wow, like that's crazy. Like you're in super good condition. I was like, that's awesome, like asymptomatic. And most people who have mitral valves actually are, which is why it's so important to get tested early and often, because you don't know. If I knew I've had this since I was 2 years old, because a doctor discovered it while I was in the hospital, which is actually a weird story. My mom had this vision, she went to a psychic, and the psychic was like, your daughter is gonna like get really sick, and unless you bring her to the hospital, she's gonna die. And my mom like really got freaked out, because like she's a new mom and somebody told her kid's gonna die, right? Of course, you'd freak out. So my mom, we lived in New York, she didn't drive. And then all of a sudden, my mom, like, I got a fever, and my mom was like freaked out. And so she called my Uncle Sam Santino, and she's like, oh my God, we have to take Michelle to the hospital. She's gonna die. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, the psychic said so. He's like, okay. So he takes her, and they put me to the hospital, and literally I was in the hospital for a week on intravenous. Nothing would stay down. I was throwing up. I was like malnourished, like they couldn't keep liquids or fluids or food in me. And then one doctor came in, because they run all these different tests, and he was like, well, how long has she had the heart condition? And my mom was like, what? And so that was the first time that she discovered that I actually had a heart condition. So every year after that, I would go, and they would monitor me with tests, EKGs at New York Hospital. And I was it's very rare. And they didn't know what it was at first. At first, they called it a mitral valve prolapse. Over time, it became a mitral valve cleft, sort of like a cleft chin. So basically, the blood flows through the valve, but the doors, so if I could do it for you guys, see if I could do it like this. The doors of the valve, where a door would open, close, the door wouldn't close correctly. So it would kind of stay open, and then the blood would regurgitate back through. So it was supposed to be pumping in one direction, but it would come back, and it would flow into the heart, or it would flow into the lungs, or it would flow other places. So my condition became severe because that blood flow was too strong. And because it was flowing so much, they didn't know what to do. So over time, they were going to replace that with just a standard valve, which would be like a tissue valve. So they would choose based upon your religion, like the type of valve you need, like a pig valve or a bovine valve, calf valve, or whichever other animal, or even a Godiva, like a human body valve. Or the other option is a mechanical valve, which is also, so a tissue valve, no tissue valve's as good as your own valve. Your tissue valve has to get replaced on average every 10 years. Although I met a woman in the hospital who had it for 20 years, which is a really long time. Some people do, but on average, you have to repair them or your body could reject them, or there's a lot of issues with that. Similarly, there's a mechanical valve, which some people can have for life, or some people, their body rejects it really quickly. So this mechanical valve, you have to be on Coumadin, like blood thinners, for the rest of your life, which is not really good. So if you like fall and hurt yourself, like you can bleed out. So definitely not a good option either, or your body could reject it because it's a foreign object and doesn't recognize the metals. So neither option was really great. And my mom actually always was praying, why can't they just repair the valve? And Dr. Adams, the doctor that performed my surgery, was actually the one that invented the procedure that you can repair the valve. So that was super awesome, because it didn't exist prior to this. And so the old school of thought was you wait until it's really bad, or you're really sick, or you're really old, because you're going to have to replace it every 10 years. And if you ever want to have kids, you can't get the metal valve because the blood thinner won't help you. So you're going to have to do the tissue valve. So I was actually very fortunate because I was supposed to have the surgery when I was 12, then 18, then 25, then 30. And so I'm 36. And so I've had a long life of avoiding it for a very good time. And now I was able to go to the man who invented the surgery to repair it. And I'm here with you today. And I feel very blessed. I'm thankful to God in heaven for allowing me to stay on this earth and to be here with my family, with my mom, husband, my kids, and all of you. I'm so thankful. It's such a scary thing. It's such an exciting thing to wake up. And the wake up period, that was a little bit hard. You wake up, you have, they stop your heartbeat, they stop your heart for 5 hours or so. So I couldn't even imagine being on the other end of that. I was terrified going in there, bawling my eyes out, and they're like, it's okay, we'll keep you calm. And then they knock you out, and then you don't really know. Just, I let them know I had kids and I'd like to wake up and see them. And they did. They helped me be here. And I'm so blessed and thankful that I'm here and I'm alive to talk to you all. And thank you. I feel very blessed to be here with you guys. And I guess after that, you wake up. There was a breathing tube, a breathing apparatus in your throat. So you can't take that out, and they restrain your hands because they don't want you to pull it out, and some people used to. So that's bad. It's really painful. Your throat, you can't really eat much the first few days. On a high note, I've lost 10 pounds, which is pretty exciting. I'm not gonna say it, but hey, take your strengths. And so I will say that although I do feel very lucky to be here, I've eaten ice cream every day because I feel hey, I'm alive, so I deserve it, right? Who's with me on this one? So I guess basically then the first day I was in the ICU, and then my blood pressure was low, but my heartbeat was fast, which is why I'm on those beta blockers right now. And you have to do that a second day. And then finally, you have the ability to go to the normal rooms. And it's so different. In the ICU, everyone's checking on you every 5 seconds. You cannot get a minute to yourself. And then you go to the other room, and it's I was there for hours. Nobody knew where I was. I was oh my gosh, it was so crazy. The difference in care that you receive or attention. And it was only a 24-hour difference. So I don't know. I do worry about other people who are there because I feel maybe they do need more attention. But anyways, you get a little stir crazy like I do. And so I started walking. You pick a point, the gift shop center, and I would have to stop a few times as I walked, and then you'd walk a little further. And the next day, I made it all the way to the other side of the building, which has like the most beautiful view of Central Park and like hot dogs. Oh, I'm so hungry. And like all of these amazing skyline of New York City, which is where I was born. So it felt so amazing to be there. And I did get in trouble because you're supposed to tell somebody evidently when you leave, and they didn't know where I was, and I forgot to take my thing with me. So anyways, they found me. My nurse was pretty awesome, and she found me and brought me back. But anyways, I got to see the view, and so they knew where I was when I went walking. But I was so grateful, and I want to give a super big shout out also to Tootie and Sona and Heather and all of the amazing friends that I have that have like really stepped up, and my team that has like texted me and just share their love and support and Facebook messaged and hugs and, you know, just completely kindness from all of you guys in Facebook land and social media world and just colleagues and from all of the phases of my life, you know. And it's going to sound a little gloomy, but I don't mean it to sound this way. But when you think about like a funeral and you think about, you know, all the things that you want to say to somebody that you don't get to say to them, right? Typically when somebody dies, it's unexpected, usually. And you don't know, and you don't have the time to say, you know, I love you, and thank you, and I appreciate you, and you inspire me, and I'm grateful for you. And for me, it's kind of been the opposite, because I have the ability to have people throughout my entire life, like from my first day at school to my job right now, and everywhere in between, who's reached out to me through gift baskets and food and flowers and phone calls and texts and emails and LinkedIn messages and Facebook messages and Twitter messages and just like the whole gamut, and just said like, hey, like we're thinking of you and we love you. And, you know, for me, it just blew me away. It just honestly blew me away, and my mom and my husband and my kids, and like that you guys think so nicely of me and like care so much about my health and prayed for me and my family. Like I'm seriously completely thankful for all of you, because you don't know what could happen. You know, nothing in life is promised or guaranteed, and I'm just so grateful that I'm here and I'm able to kind of share this story with you and just let you know kind of what it's like. You know, like it's not always easy. It's sometimes frustrating, it's sometimes painful, but mostly it's awesome because I'm here and I'm alive and I'm excited and I'm thankful, and I know I'm going to get better and I know I'm going to get stronger. And here's the best part. So the condition, which was severe, like the blood that was flowing, they did another scan and it's now minor. I was hoping it went away completely. That evidently does not happen, but it's minor, which is like crazy, because for the last 7 years it's been severe. And so every day or every year you go to, or actually when you have a child it's more than that, it's like I'm a high risk pregnancy, so I went several times in a year throughout my pregnancy. You go through this process and you're never knowing, like, am I going to be, you know, is this the day that I'm going to have the surgery? Is this the day that they're going to give me bad news? And then one day they give you bad news and you're terrified. Like you can't sleep and you can't think about it and you ignore it and you hope you don't have to do it and you hope it goes away. And then you do it and you live and you feel better and, you know, tired, but better. And the condition is no longer scary, because I've tackled something, and you find this strength that you didn't even know you have, and you're able to persevere and overcome something, which is pretty miraculous. And it's through God and through faith and through family. And thank you also to Angel Pinheiro, who came and prayed with me and my husband. Like, you know, whatever you believe, like good juju, God Almighty, like I believe, you know, that I believe in God, and I believe that I was blessed and thankful that I'm here. So, you know, I guess for me, the whole thing has been pretty amazing. And I don't know what else to expect. I don't even know, you know, thank you. I don't know if I'm a warrior or not. Like, I feel like, you know what? Sure, I'll own that. Like, I'd like to feel like a warrior because, like, I'm battling and I have a battle scar and I'm gonna, like, kick this thing's ass. And I'm, like, super excited, you know, because every day I'm gonna get a little bit stronger and a little bit more brave and a little bit further and a little bit longer and a little bit harder. And then one day I'm gonna be able to lift 2 gallons of milk and it's gonna be super amazing. And at that point, you know, sky's the limit, right? And I'm still gonna eat ice cream once a day because why not, right? So I just want to say, you know, thank you guys. I love you guys. I'm super, super excited to know you all for all different reasons. Like Jay told me once when we started dating, he said, people come in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And you never know, right? Think about your own life, how many people. And I remember my grandma saying, in your life, if you have 5 good friends that you can count on your hand, you'd be really lucky. And I can tell you with all sincerity that I feel very blessed. You know, I used to say I have a lot of acquaintances, but I don't have a lot of friends because I don't really let people in. But I've let you guys in to one of the most personal journeys that I possibly could. And for me, it's freeing, it's cathartic to talk about it, and it's also educational and informative. And I hope you guys know how important health is for yourself in your own life, and just, you know, making sure you're getting tested and having physicals, and there's a lot of prevention that can happen. So that's equally important to have that education on the other end. But definitely know that life is precious, and we're also lucky to have one another, and it's so important. You never know what somebody is struggling with or going through. So please, please be kind to one another, love each other, support one another, be there for one another. And for those of you who have been there through me, through this challenging period and now this new journey, I'm so thankful and I'm so excited because I know that I'm embarking on a new exploration, and it means the world to me, and you mean the world to me, and I love you guys. And if you have any other questions, I'm super happy to help you answer them, let you know, nothing's off limits. I'm completely an open book, as you may have guessed. And the ice cream I had tonight was Neapolitan. Is it Neapolitan? Yes. Vanilla chocolate strawberry. Basic. So, but anyways, so I prefer Haagen-Dazs vanilla Swiss almond, but there's a lot of calories going on that, so I'm just gonna limit that for a while. But anyways, thank you. I love you. Call me, write me, come visit. Like, you're all welcome. Like, I'm okay. See, like, I'm here and you can come. Like, we can practice walking together. We can do the breathing straw thing. It'll be like so much fun. Okay, so love you guys. Call me anytime, ask anything you want, and I'll hope to talk to you soon. Bye.